Welcome back to the channel. Today we have this position. It is white to move and win. So you can pause the video to try to figure out the answer on your own. Okay, so now the thing is we want to push this pawn and promote it and make a queen, but we also need to stop this pawn from promoting. So you might be thinking about a really cool move like bishop to f1. Here, you're attacking this pawn, that's first of all. Second of all, you're not allowing black to attack this pawn like this. And if black decided to go here to attack this pawn, we can just safely push it. And after he goes here, for example, h2, if he attacks us, we can just take this pawn. And if he played h2, then we just play simple bishop to g2. We're stopping his pawn, defending our pawn. Even if he played this, we can just push. He can never get to our pawn. And whenever he attacks our bishop, we can just save it by going all the way back. And after that, we are ready, even if he played king here. We're ready to sacrifice the bishop for this pawn whenever it promotes, and then we promote our pawn and we win this game. So, okay, but it's not so simple. What if, of course you cannot play king to e1 because you can just take his pawn and win the game. Here, black can play h2, and now we are forced to play bishop to g2 in order to stop the pawn from promoting. So now black plays king to e2, attacking our pawn. We have to defend it if we want to win, but after this move e4 is going to play king to f2, attacking the bishop. We move the bishop back, but here he's going to play king to g1, and then we have to go here bishop to f3, and then we have to repeat moves. First of all, we cannot allow this pawn to promote, and second of all, we have to keep defending this pawn. But we cannot get out from this because the pawn is in the way. So black will only just repeat moves and eventually lead to a draw because of this pawn being in the way and the bishop cannot go back. So it is not bishop to f1. Now, if you thought about moving this pawn and trying to promote it, that's going to be losing actually because black can push, and after we push, that's going to be pretty much, cooked. So the right move is to start with the move bishop to d5. First of all, ensuring that nothing's going to go there, and even if it did, we're going to sacrifice the bishop. But now here, black can actually play two moves, either to move the king, closer to the pawn, or he can push this pawn. Let's see first what happens if black plays h2 trying to promote. We cannot push here because he can then promote, and that is completely losing for us. Okay, so what do we do? It's a very simple move. We just play bishop all the way to h1. See, the king is going to take too much time for it to attack our bishop, and by that time, we have the pawn to promote on a couple of moves. And after this move, we can just move the bishop back. If he's going to promote, we can just take it, and this is a very easy winning endgame for white. Okay, so after this h2, we move the bishop. It's going to be a win for white. Okay, but what if after bishop to d5 he did not push the pawn, he attacked our pawn first? Well, here we have to defend it, so we play the move e4. Now if he played, for example, h2, we can just push. That's pretty much obvious. We are stopping his pawn and ready to promote. Okay, so after this move e4, defending our pawn, he can play king to d3, trying to attack this pawn again, but even though it's still defended. Okay, so now we just push the pawn. Yes, we do push the pawn, even though black in this position, of course, cannot move the pawn because he's gonna lose it. Black here plays king to d4, forcing us to make a decision between either taking this pawn or taking the bishop. Sorry, saving the pawn or saving the bishop. So what do we do here? If we save the bishop, that's a complete draw. He can just take here, and then whenever he promotes, we sack the bishop for the pawn, and that's a draw. So it is white to move and win, so obviously we save the pawn instead of the bishop. Now it's going to be a race, because after black takes here, black needs to take this bishop because it is stopping his pawn. So black takes, we push, he push, we make a queen, he makes a queen, and you might think, well, this is a draw because equal material. Well, the thing is that the king and the queen are on the exact same diagonal, so that leads us with a win, because if queen to a8 check, king moves somewhere, it doesn't really matter, and after we win the queen, it's going to be a winning endgame. Thank you for watching.